Hey, what's up everyone? So this is your first screencast tutorial that's going to go over, getting up and running, balancing Schoology with Google Drive, and maybe even a little bit of my website. So let's go ahead and get started, okay? Here we go. So hopefully you have navigated to my website. You got this kind of cheesy introduction, that kind of stuff. And you have now learned that you can either select either one of these to access your course information. So if you're in Honors Geography, go ahead and select this icon, Global Studies. You're over here on the right. Okay, and hopefully you've made it through all these steps of accessing, reading, taking the syllabus quiz, getting that digital signature all taken care of. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that now. This course is all on Schoology, okay? So all the course content and everything else is going to be accessed here. So you can go ahead and click that button. It'll take you to the Schoology homepage. You may have to log in and things of that nature, but you should see something like this. Go ahead and look for the green globe. You'll only have one. It'll say, Global Studies Period 3 or Honors Geo Period 7, whatever you're in. Just go ahead and look for that one green globe and access it that way. Pretty much all the course materials are going to populate here. They'll be in neat little folders, week 1, week 2, things like that. But what I really want to focus on here first today is only how to submit assignments. Schoology has a built-in management system for me to push out and then subsequently receive assignments from you, but that's actually not how I run the class. It's actually not very efficient, and it's really limiting. So I kind of opt to go a different way. And seeing as everything we do is going to be, all of our assignments are going to be actually created and completed in Google Drive, it's important that we just go ahead and embrace that and just work with Google Drive a little bit more. So let's go ahead and before we go any further here, let's go ahead and open up Google Drive, okay? So click the plus sign, create a new tab, and go to drive.google.com. Google Drive, if you are not familiar, is a online cloud-based document program. So if you at any point worked with Word or Excel or PowerPoint, basically Google Drive has their similar products, but they all live on the cloud. They live on the internet at Google Drive, drive.google.com. So we're here now. You can see that everything can be organized into folders. You can create all kinds of documents, like I said, a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, Google Slides. You'll learn all of those things. This is your tech course. But the very first thing, before we do any of that, is we want to set up a folder. Folders are your friend. Folders are the most important thing for you to master. As you can see here, I've got 227 gigs within my Google Drive. I'm not sure if you're familiar with file sizes and things like that, but all I can say is that is a lot of documents, okay? So for this class, everything that you create for this class, whether it be a Google Doc, anything that you copy from the Schoology resources, anything that you create on your own, all of that is going to be located within one geography folder. So let's go ahead and create that folder now. So I'm going to select New and click Folder. Now, the naming convention goes as follows. It depends on your class period. So if you're in class period maybe 7, put a 7 at the beginning. If you're in period 5, put a 5, etc. Last name, comma, first name. Please don't title it last, comma, first. Please actually use your name. And then give it a Honors Geo. This is more for your purposes than it is for mine. Or if you're in Global Studies, title it something like that. Okay, and now that you can see that there is a folder living there just like so. Okay. Now here's a critical step, okay? Now let's talk about actually turning in work. I am going to be collecting all work through a link or a URL submission into a Google form. One of the things that's going to be really critical is that you keep everything in this folder, and this folder is shared with me so I can actually see your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first. Let's dive over here. You're going to see a few buttons. Let's focus first on this little person with a plus sign. Let's go ahead and share this document. Okay, so for this one time only, this one time at the very beginning of the course, it's the only time you'll need to do it, you're actually going to type in my email address, and that is Reilly, R-E-I, like the store, L-L-Y, at guhsd.net. Okay, two things you can do here. Notify people. You don't need to notify me. I'm going to check it through a different way. I don't need you guys flooding my email. So go ahead and deselect that and make sure that it says here editor. Okay. At this point you can hit share. Okay, our next step is to get shareable link. Go ahead and copy that. Get link. Let's copy that and select done. Okay. Now let's go back over to Schoology and talk about how this gets turned in. So you'll see here right at the top of your course there are two buttons, the assignment submissions and the regrade form. We're not going to talk about the regrade form right now. Let's just go ahead and focus on the assignment submissions. So when you click on that, you'll see that it takes you to a Google form. If you're in Honors Geo, it's this nice kind of sunset mountain landscape. If you are in Global Studies, it's like Yosemite Valley, okay? And fill out the information. So last name, your first name, select your class period. If you're in Global Studies, your class period will be listed, okay? And then your quad. Quads 1 and 2 are in the fall, 3 and 4 are in the spring. So whichever quad we're currently in, go ahead and select that. So that's quad 1. And go to next. Now you'll see that the very first assignment, the very first thing, and in fact the only thing right now, says here URL to your geography Google Drive folder. So go ahead and click on your answer and hit Control V on your Chromebook. This big, not so pretty link will show up on in the response field, and that's how you know you're turning in the URL to your geography Google Drive folder. Again, make sure that the sharing permissions are correct. Make sure that it is shared with me as an editor and that you copied the proper link. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. Once you hit submit, you have officially turned in that assignment. Okay, and life is good. Okay, now for all assignments from this point forward, let's go ahead and take a look at how that will work. So let's say that we create a Google Doc. Okay, and just for my purposes right now, I'm going to call this sample. Okay, we've got this Google Doc. Here it is. I type away and I'm done. I close the tab. Okay, get ready for this. When you want to turn this in, you go right up here, drag it into the Global Studies folder. Okay, by doing so, that folder, that document is automatically shared with me. You don't have to share it again. I already have editing and viewing access. But what you'll do is you'll come right over here, copy the link again, and dive into the assignment submissions. Okay? But wait, it says you've already responded. There's nothing I can do. It says you can only fill out this form once. Okay? Contact me if you think it's a mistake. This is not a mistake, I assure you. Okay? Look here, there's an actual link right here. It says edit your response. It'll take you back, save all of your personal information, your email, your first and last name, your period, all that stuff, it's saved. So you go ahead and go to next, and in the future, there will be more assignments listed below this Google Drive folder. So you can paste the link and hit submit again, and that's how it's all going to populate to me. It shows up in a neat little spreadsheet. It keeps everything in your Google Drive organized for you. Schoology doesn't really do that. And it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It really helps me collecting work this way, and it's actually going to really help you as well. So that is your very first introduction to kind of balancing the Schoology and Google Drive worlds together and making them work succinctly. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this. Go submit your Google Drive folder to me now. That's step one. All right? Take care.